Okay, welcome everyone to the Satsang of Sri Anandamayi Ma, here in the presence of her paduka, which she wore on her own feet, and lots of other treasures we have here, a towel she wore on her head. We have this meeting every month to remember Anandamayi Ma, to celebrate our connection with her, to learn her teachings, learn what she requires of us, in a sense of, she's touched us by her grace, and so we have to make a response, and that's one thing we're studying in this meeting. And who could say who or what Ma is? I think everyone has a different connection with her, everyone has a different relationship with her. But she, in my mind, in my experience, she's the completion of our consciousness. When, I'll speak for myself. When I remember Ma throughout the day, try to remember, I catch myself not remembering, try to say her name and remember her. She is the fulfillment of my consciousness, because she is what we are inside, but uncovered, all without the veils that we have covering us. So when we remember Ma, we complete our own consciousness into divinity. She was not just an historical character who lived for 86 years in this world, but she is an eternal spiritual reality and an eternal truth and an eternal gateway into greater consciousness and into the awareness of our own divine nature. And that's why she came. She said many times that she had no karma of her own. She came at the call of mankind. She came at the aspiration of mankind. So she belongs to everyone. And so our touch point with Ma is our first emphasis in this satsang, this meeting. And our second is to have community among ourselves. During my years living in India, when I met so many people traveling, the ashram would send me traveling, and I would meet so many people who Ma had touched and brought to life, and we had no place where we could meet together and share and have support and community. We have our ashram in India, but people don't come to India that often. So that's one reason we started this. So now we have this part in person and part online community, and so because of that, I want everybody to introduce themselves. So I ask your patience, and we will. First of all, I want to introduce my wife, Gloria. And for those who haven't been here before, my name is Mangalananda, and I received Diksha from Anandamayi Ma in 1973 at her Vrindavan ashram, and traveled with her in 73 and 74. And I've basically been living in her lineage ever since with some of her great disciples. And I was given the title of Acharya from our Ma Sharanam and Omkareshwar ashrams, which means a teacher of Ma's, someone who brings Ma's teachings to people's awareness as much as possible. And also our co-host here is Lisa Pragya Hallstrom, who is the author of Mother of Bliss and also the editor of these two new books we have, which we'll read from today, and is the proprietor of our meeting place in Boston. So Pragya, will you say hello?
Jai Ma everyone, it's great to see you. Here we are in front of Ma's altar in Amherst, Massachusetts. And we have three guests with us today who will introduce themselves. I'm going to turn the camera a little. Okay, perfect.
Hi, I'm Tom. Nice to meet all of you.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Gemma. I'm Tanya. I'm from Greenfield, Massachusetts.
Hi, Tanya. Good.
Here comes the other half.
Doug, Greenfield, Massachusetts. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Doug.
Okay, over to you, Saraswati.
Hi, everyone. I'm Saraswati, and I am here in Freedom, Maine. So tell us your name and tell us where you're from. We'll start with the herrings.
Okay, we are David and Linda, and we live in Williamsburg, Virginia. We have been to Haridwar and visited Anandamayi Ma's place there. Jai Ma.
Hey, Ma. Nice to see you, David, Linda.
Jai Ma. Sarah.
Aloha, Jema from Big Island, KL. Thank you.
Oh, it's good to see you, Sarah. Thank you.
Aloha to you. And our new friend Mikey. So good to see you. Hi, Mikey.
Hey Saraswati. Hi everybody. I'm Mikey. I'm coming out of West Springfield, Massachusetts. Jai Ma. It's great to be here.
Hey, Ma. Good to see you, Mikey. Welcome. Welcome.
Jai
You're,
Ma.
you're among family now.
Kathleen.
Kathleen, be sure and unmute yourself.
Kathleen from New Jersey. Jai Ma.
Welcome, Kathleen. Jai Ma.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Jai Ma. And Molly.
Jai Ma, Molly from Long Island.
Jai Ma, Molly. Good to see you.
And Ramani G. Keep your eye on the road if you're driving.
No, we just parked. So Jema, everyone. My name is Ramani, and this is my wife, Michelle. And we are currently coming to you from the car. I have a yoga class I teach at 5, so I might have to jump out of here soon. But we live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in a small town called Chatham. So we love you all, and we're happy to be here. Jema.
Jema.
Yeah.
Jema.
And just FYI, Saraswati, Pragya, Ramani, and I are on the board, and Ted are on the board for Anandamayi Ma Temple and Ashram, our nonprofit church ashram. So we're all working together on this.
Yes, thank you. And James, hello. Oh, we can't hear you.
You have to unmute the bottom left of your screen.
Sorry about that. Yeah, hi, I'm Jim Broadus from Las Vegas, Nevada. Jai Ma.
Welcome, Jim. Good to see you.
Jai Ma.
Thank you, Acharya.
Hi,
Jai Ma.
Yana.
Jai Ma, Yana from also on the Big Island, probably about 20 minutes away from Sarah. Jai Ma, everyone.
Always good to see you, Yana. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Greg.
Jai Ma, everybody. My name is Greg, and I live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico.
See you, Greg. Jai Ma. Beautiful picture of Ma behind you, too.
Yes, I love that one. Thank you, Greg. And Monica.
Jai Ma. I am from Washington, US, Kirkland, but basically I'm from India. First time I'm joining this US session.
Very good.
Yeah.
What area of India are you from? Which Pradesh?
I am from Punjab, Jalandhar, but one of, you can say the follower, Sant Bhagwan Singh Ji was a follower of Shri Maji. So I got my education from India, that kind of, you can say ashram. So we used to start our classing first, our prayer with Shri Maji's, Shri Shri Anandamayi Ma Ki Jai.
Wow.
Like this. And yeah, so I got my education. I saw your lots of video on YouTube, so it's really impressive. So yesterday I got your link, maybe this week days during, so I decided to attend. So I'm so feeling fortunate to be the part of this. Yeah, thank you.
Well, welcome.
आपका स्वागत तो है. आपका स्वागत है.
Thank you. Yeah, धन्यवाद.
पंजाबी महिला सिख धर्म या सनातन धर्म में मानती हैं?
Yeah, Sanatan Dharm, but my school, a follower, they were Sikh Dharm, but Shirima ji gave the name of those 4 brothers, Ram, Lakshman. Those 4 brother belongs to Sikh Dharm, but they did not take the, Amrit Shakna, no, but they were like proper Sanatan. They used to do Havan and used to do the Gurbani part as well. So they just believe in one God, and their children are here in US, different places, Ohio and California. But Praji was like bachelor. He didn't get married, so he served a lot of people there in India.
Beautiful, beautiful.
आपसे मिलकर बहुत खुशी हुई.
धन्यवाद, धन्यवाद. मुझे भी बहुत खुशी हुई. So we used to keep Sanjam Vart every year in our school. Sanjam Vart 7 days. So yeah.
Very good. Very good, Mataji. So nice.
Jay Ma, we're so happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Chris.
Chris from California.
Hi, Chris. We're in California.
Humboldt County on the coast.
That's right. I remember that. Okay, sure.
Arcata.
Yeah. Jay Ma, good to see you.
Jay Ma and Michael. Hello.
Hi, I'm Michael from Sebastopol, California. Jay
Long
Ma.
time no see. I saw you about what, 6 hours ago? No, you were we did a havan yesterday, a havan and a beautiful kirtan in this big, beautiful backyard space, and Michael was there.
It was really beautiful.
A wonderful day, yeah.
And Jay Ma, yes, Jennifer.
Jay Ma, I am right across the bridge from Monica in Seattle, Washington. And I would love to know where Greg got that large, beautiful picture of Ma.
Jay Ma, you're going to have to share that with us, Greg. But we'll continue on with Joe for now. Hi, Joe. Oh, don't forget to unmute.
Bottom left of your screen, unmute. As the song says, hey, Joe.
There we go. An incorrigible iPhone. I apologize. I'm in Alameda, California, across the bay. I'm Joeen Bone. My nickname is Joe. You're all welcome to call me that. I'm a newbie to Anandamayi Devi, and just delighted to be in the association of her disciples and devotees. I can't wait to drink up the nectar.
Jay Ma, and I know we emailed and we have a dinner date.
Yes,
in a week or so,
we
yeah.
do. We do. I have my list of questions so that I can learn more, but I really want to extend my dandavats to you and your wife, of course, and to Jay Ma and to Ma. But thank you for the generous opportunity to meet and to enjoy more information, to share more information so that I can get a little closer to who and how she was. And I very much appreciate that.
Good, good. I've met with many of the people around Satsang. I always really appreciate it. I always like meeting people in person. That's so good. I'm really looking forward to that.
It's very generous of you, and your schedules must be jammed, and I very much appreciate it.
Very good. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Jay Ma. Carla.
Hello, everyone. Jay Ma. I'm Carla from Rockport, Massachusetts. Glad to be here.
Good to see you, Jay Ma.
Jay Ma. And Hannah. Hannah, are you there?
Be sure and unmute.
Oh, Jay Ma from California. We got a little note from her. And then Gabrielle.
Jay Ma, I'm Gabriel from Seattle.
Good to see you, Gabriel, and thank you for all the work you've done on these videos and slideshows.
You're welcome.
We're going to use some of those, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Jay Ma. And then we have someone with an iPhone, and we don't know what your name is. Would you like to say hello?
Please say hello, iPhone. Turn your video on.
Are you there? iPhone.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's it, Mangalananda.
Okay, very good. Very good. You're
I
welcome.
didn't miss anyone, did I? I think, okay, good.
Mangalanandaji, it's Pragya. Your voice is very low compared to everyone else's, and we really want to hear everything that you're going to be sharing.
Let's look if I can get my microphone up.
Oh, that's better just then. Maybe you leaned into the microphone.
I'm looking at the settings to see if there's any microphone volume. Okay, I think that's all I can do. I'll try to speak up some. As I always say, and never tire of saying it, that Ma said many times we can only think of her if she first thinks of us. So Ma has thought of us, Ma has given us her grace. The fact that we can recognize Ma in some way in our heart and feel a connection with her is only because she has first touched us. So I always like to read these words of Ma herself saying how she's already with us. So let's start as we usually do. Ma says, these are Ma's own words. I am ever with each one of you, wherever you happen to be, but your vision is tied down to worldly matters and you have little time to direct your eyes to this body in your thoughts and actions. What can I do? But know it for certain that whatever you do in thought and deed, whether you are near or in distant lands, never escapes my loving attention. Just as at a flash of torchlight your faces gleam forth in their bold outlines, all your facial expressions appear in my mind when you meditate on me or talk about me or sit down to pray to me. So Ma, in her infinite consciousness as the indweller, as the Antaryami, the indweller of each being, sees everything and always sees us and always hears us. She's so aware of us. She called us all here. She says, solely for you all is indeed everything that this body says or does. Its actions, its movements, its going hither and thither. Whatever is done for your sake to this body at any time, it is you who cause it to happen. That's worth thinking about. It's our needs, our desires, our aspirations that motivate her. Because otherwise, when Ma was by herself, Ma was just perfectly contented in the self without any movement at all times. But then she was constantly traveling, constantly doing things because she was called by people's hearts, called by our hearts. And she's still, to this day, doing that. She says the Atma, the pure self, the Atma of this body is the Atma of all. It cannot be that anyone anywhere is not Ma's very own. Isn't that beautiful? Not Ma's very own. She continues, for one who knows me, I am one with him. For one who wants to know me, I am very near to him. And for one who does not know me, I am a beggar before him. Interesting. Let's read some more. She says, I am the visible embodiment of the pure aspiration of all true spiritual aspirants. It's nice. She says, I do not wait for your spiritual readiness. Like the flowing river Ganges, I go on bestowing my compassion on all. It is a supreme fact that this body has not come into being to reap the fruits of past karma. But then she says, if this body behaved with you like an omniscient being, none of you would come near me. So she would often say, how is so-and-so? And then people would say, Ma, you know. She says, yeah, but I have to ask. I have to say something. Whoever has once been drawn to love this body will never succeed in wiping out its impressions, even despite hundreds of attempts to forget Ma. This body rests and shall remain in their memory at all time. She says, have faith in this body. Ma really used the pronoun I. She would usually say, Yeshirir, this body. Have faith in this body. Your unswerving faith will open your eyes. And then I like to read a little bit about what other people have said about Ma here. Triveni Puraji, the eminent realized state of Punjab, widely known as Kana Baba, was asked by a devotee whether Ma was an avatar. Triveni Puri Baba said, avatar is a small thing. Ma is that, Tat, from which the avatars incarnate. He also said, as the rivers meet the ocean, but no variation of its level takes place, similarly, all the religions and bhavas are destined towards Ma. And under all circumstances, Ma always remains in the same state. As there is no limitation of the ocean, similarly, Ma cannot be bound within limits. And Bitake Mukherjee, who was her main biographer, who grew up with Ma, her mother was a devotee of Ma, and she grew up with Ma, playing with Ma and Bholenath and Baiji. I had the great privilege and honor of spending a full morning with her once in her home in Allahabad. I was in Allahabad, and I just called her and said, "Can I come over and say hello?" And we spent all morning talking about Ma. She has a nice thing here. Here's a brief thing she said. It was the usual scene of departure at the Howrah railroad station, that's in Calcutta. Sri Ma was sitting at the window of her compartment while the throng of devotees were milling around in front of it on the platform. Sri Ma was smilingly conversing with those close at hand and looking graciously at those who were at the fringe of the crowd. An emotional scene for many. One lady was shedding tears and called out, "Ma, tell us at least that you belong to us." Then the train was in motion. Sri Ma called out, "I belong to everyone." The lady was probably disappointed, not realizing that she had evoked an answer what was startling in its self-revelation import. I belong to everyone. And lastly, Ma says, anyone calling out for God from any land, in any language, and in any age, remember their cries reach this heart like waves crashing onto the sea. So, Ma is with us always. And we like to, we're going to study Ma's teachings with our intellect, but let's start by invoking her with our heart. And the best way is through music. So we always sing some form of this first kirtan, which just says, Om Ma Sharanam. Sharanam means a place of refuge, a place of strength, and a place of safety. Ma is our Sharanam. Our ashram in India is called Ma Sharanam Ashram. It's a wonderful place of Ma's being. So let's sing Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma. Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Om Ma Sharanam, Om Ma, Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Om Ma Sharanam. Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai 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 Ma, 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 Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai 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 Ma. Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma. Om Ma Sharanam Om Ma. Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma. Om Ma Sharanam Om Ma. Om Ma Sharanam 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 Sharanam Om Ma Sharanam Om Ma Sharanam Om Ma Sharanam Om Ma. So let's just sit for a moment and just tune into Ma's presence. Just feel her presence with us, feel her smile in our hearts, and know that she's guiding us. This is a very special meeting because we're going to just very simply celebrate Ma's birthday. Janmotsav, we call it. Her birthday on the calendar date is around April 30th. But in India, we don't really do things by the solar calendar, but more by the lunar calendar, because that makes the astrological settings the same as the actual day. So usually we celebrate Ma's birthday from the day of April 30th to where the Tithi Puja, which is the solar of the lunar equivalent, is. So we're still within that parameter. So we're celebrating Ma's birthday. We'll just do it very simply. I want to read some things about her birth and her conception, and at the end, Arati, Pragya will do the Arati for us. So first of all, let's think about Ma was kind of miraculous from day one. She's a very special manifestation, and we always see that she wasn't just a so-called normal human being. She was a manifestation of divine consciousness. And I think it's important to think of all these things because we get the wider picture of who and what Ma was. Obviously, our mind can't comprehend it, but we can kind of just stand in awe more. At the same time, know that she is so vast and so divine that she has full capacity to save us, to guide us, to be with us at every moment. At the same time, she was very approachable. She was very human on a certain level. You could really relate to her in so many beautiful and intimate ways. And she was always there to listen. The years I was traveling with her, whenever we wanted to have what we called a private, I would want to check my practice and check what was going on. We'd always just ask, can we have a private with Ma? And she would always agree. Sometimes it would be a few days later. She would say, not until so-and-so time come then. But she was always accessible, and she would always just listen very carefully to you and give you very specific instructions. She was always so kind. She was very strict in her rules. She demanded a lot, but it was always tempered with this incredible maternal, motherly love and affection and joy and also humor. So, but Ma's manifestation was miraculous. So I want to start with a very interesting excerpt of before her birth, and this is from the book by our Swami Kedarnath, Baba Kedarnath, who had researched Ma's life intently. He was with Ma for many years. He ran the ashram I lived in for 12 years in India, and he wrote a book about her. And this is about her conception, which is very interesting, because she was conceived when her husband Bipin Bihardi was away from home. He was kind of a wandering. Ma's father was kind of a wandering sadhu. He was married to Moksha Sundari Devi, who was a wonderful saint from birth, who later became known to us as Didi Ma. But here's what Baba said, and here's his writings, his understanding. Sri Ma's paternal grandmother had the intense desire for her son, Bipin Bihardi, to bear her a grandson. Full of resolve, she went to the temple of goddess Kali in a nearby village with the intention of petitioning the Devi for this desire. But upon seeing the divine form of Kali and falling into a spiritual mood, she found herself asking for a daughter instead of a son. After this incident, Ma took birth. Ma's mother, Mokshada Sundari, Ma's mother followed the custom of deity offering of prayers and worship to the holy Tulsi plant. See, in every Indian courtyard, you'll find what we call the Tulsi Munch. It's a platform, and there's ceremoniously kept a beautiful Tulsi plant there, who's considered a manifestation of goddess Lakshmi. So the people offer water in the evening for that. And you find that in all Indian households. So Ma's mother followed the custom of daily offering prayers and worship to the holy Tulsi plant. And for this reason, a raised platform with a large Tulsi adorned the courtyard of their house. One evening, as Sri Mokshada Sundari was performing her prayers before the shrine, upon raising her eyes, instead of seeing the Tulsi plant, she beheld the effulgent form of a beautiful divine goddess, whose face radiated blessing and grace. With a smiling countenance, the vision blessed the astounded woman, and then changed into the form of a great circular light, a chakra, rotating and pulsing with power. This light then entered into the body of Sri Mokshada, who fell unconscious to the ground from the influx of power. Shortly after this, it was found that she was with child. So kind of a miraculous conception. After this light entered her womb, for the succeeding months, Mokshada Sundari had many visions, both in her sleep and during waking hours. Various forms of gods and goddesses came to her, and she had the feeling that they were all living with her and taking their place within her and her home. At birth, Ma never uttered a cry like a normal child, but rather possessed full consciousness and awareness. In later years, when asked why she didn't cry, she replied that immediately after her delivery, she was very happily gazing at the mango tree outside through a hole in the roof and felt no inclination to cry. Ma later recalled by name all the people who came to visit her shortly after her birth, showing her perfect command of her senses and faculties from the beginning. From the very early age of 2.5 years, Ma would enter into deep spiritual states and moods while listening to the singing of names of God, kirtan. After her 3rd year, she frequently had visions of divine personages passing in the sky before her inner gaze. During this same period, Ma would enter into deep mystical states in which she experienced the boundless infinitude of God beyond all names and forms. So that's how Ma was conceived. And then we have in this wonderful book, Mother Reveals Herself, where we have Ma's own words about her early life, which is captured by Bayaji and recorded in Czech with Ma. So it's a very authentic document. In the first appendix, the author, I think it's Bayaji himself, talks about how this took place. So he says, the revelation of the Supreme One as Sri Sri Ma. In a thatched hut in the small hamlet of Kehora, located in a remote corner of eastern Bengal in the early hours of May 1st, 1896, the Omnipresent chose to be revealed upon this earth as Sri Sri Ma. As recorded in the book Swakriya Svarva Amrita, details about Sri Sri Ma's Prakash appearance are given as follows. And this is many Ma was speaking that book. I mean, Ma was being interviewed by some people. In the divine circumstances of Brahma Muhurta, that's before dawn, when the yogis, rishis, munis, and sadhus and sadhiks are busy with their spiritual pursuit, and nature was playing the primordial sound through the bamboo rushes behind the thatched room, the divine revealed herself, witnessed by the gods and goddesses. Now here are some points. Number 1, there was no one in the thatched kitchen when Ma appeared, not even a midwife, nor was there need for anyone. Is this not surprising? Ma herself asked, because they were asking her about that time. Number 2, Ma's great-grand aunt, who used to live next door, came at that moment and picked up Ma from the ground. There was no mention of Ma's mother, of Didi Ma. So I don't think Didi Ma was even in the room. It corresponds very much to the birth of Christ, because it said in the Christian tradition, it says that his mother, the Virgin Mary, was virgin before, during, and after childbirth. So just as he like passed through the walls of the tomb at his resurrection, so he passed through her womb, the walls of her womb, without going out the birth canal, leaving her a virgin. So it seems that Ma did the same thing, that she was definitely held within Didi Ma's womb for those months, but then she seemed to just appear. Number 3, Sri Sri Ma's Prakash did not take place as a result of the union of those she would later refer to her as her parents. Ma had no umbilical cord. Ma's father had not been present in Kior for 3 years. He was wandering around doing bhajans. During Sri Sri Ma's Prakash, there was no mention of him, not even at the naming ceremony. So even later, he wasn't there when the Brahmin priest came and did the initial rites for her. In an Orthodox Brahmin family, it is unthinkable that a kitchen would be used as a delivery room, particularly due to the traditional sense of ritual defilement associated with giving birth. In those days, a temporary hut used to be built next to the cowshed and used for delivering babies. This was considered to be an auspicious as well as a healthy and an antiseptic environment. It is well known that cow dung and urine has antiseptic properties. They would spear it with gobar, that's called cow dung. Next door, Ma's grand aunt owned a number of cows, as arrangements could have been made for it if this was a normal expected delivery case. So in other words, she was born, she appeared in the kitchen, which this man is pointing out would not have been done normally. Number 7, Ma did not cry at the time of her Prakash like a newborn baby. Number 8, Ma questions. This is Ma's words. Is it possible for a mother who has just given birth to carry the newborn in her arms, walk down 3 steps, then a further 12 yards to the Tulsi Manch, and return the same way? One must consider the total lack of medical facilities in a far-flung remote village in Bengal at that time more than 100 years ago. So she's saying Didi Ma wouldn't have carried her to the kitchen. She just literally disappeared. Number 9, Ma hints that she would always hear Didi Ma say, even in her childhood, quote, everything is God's creation. He is in everything. He alone does and is capable of doing everything, unquote. So Didi Ma was always self-content with this firm belief. So that's Ma's appearance. Very unusual. We see her conception was supernormal. Her conception came about from the light of that goddess entering as a chakra into Didi Ma's body. Her birth was unusual. Didi Ma was there somewhere, but Ma just went through her womb and just suddenly appeared in the kitchen. So from birth, Ma was very, very unusual, to put it mildly. And she herself emphasized many times, as we read, that she had no karma. Her body was not a result of karma as our bodies are. So she said many times she is the Vyakta, I can remember the name now. Vyakta Rupa, that means the manifested form of the aspiration of human beings. So let's read one more quick thing. This is just a quick thing from Geeta Bose, who is one of the people who travel with Ma frequently. My brother, a few months after he was born, got a tumor like a big boil behind his ear. The doctor said they could not do anything about it because he was too young to operate and he would die either way. My grandfather was so upset he went to Ma and said, Ma, I am leaving this boy to you. If you wish him to live, save him. If you wish him to die, leave him. So that's how much faith they had in Ma. So he came back to the house and the baby was screaming like anything the whole day and night. So next day, Ma came and from the door, she looked at my brother and she took him in her lap and fed him some milk. From that day further, my brother had no pain. She stayed the whole day and he was sitting on her lap, nothing else. In the evening, she came in and entered the room where my brother was sleeping with my mother. She asked everyone to leave the room and told my grandfather, just stand behind me and don't try to see what I'm doing. After that, what she did, no one knew. She just told my mother, tomorrow morning you will get up, have your bath, and go to that tree, and she pointed at a tree, and near the roots, pull out whatever comes into your hand, grind it and make a paste and put it on the boil. So my mother did this and the boil burst and it was healed. After many years, 45 years later, we all went to Ma. And Ma was sitting in Benares and many people were sitting with her. All of a sudden, Ma, looking at my brother, said, I have a mark. One of the marks on his body is on this body. He said at that, and she pointed out, at that time he was supposed to die, but this body scratched her own hand with a pin on the side of her hand. That's what she was doing with. She didn't want people to see. She scratched her hand, and there was a mark. She showed the mark is still on this. She said this body did not do this. It was Ma Kali who saved him, not this body. So she would always attribute it to something else. But Ma went and scratched her hand, and somehow she took the karma of the boy dying and saved his life. And he was alive 45 years later. Good. So let's go on to, excuse me, let's go on to Pragya's reading, but so we won't have just talk, let's have a little singing. So Pragya, if you would start by sharing a kirtan with us and then do your reading, we'd appreciate it.
I would be honored to, Jai Ma.
Turn the volume down.
So this would be the time to put on the original sound. Would you do that, Tanya? Over in the right-hand corner, it says upper right-hand corner, original sound for musicians. You want to put it on. Is it working? Okay, now it's on.
It says
Okay.
original sound for musicians is on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So we're going to, I don't know about you, but Mangalanandaji, when you were reading from Ma Reveals Herself, the 9 points or whatever it was, I mean, I was watching Tanya's expression. We were looking at each other just every time I hear this about the birth of Ma, this divine being born in this extraordinary way. It takes me back to my time in India where I went to interview Ma's devotees with the idea that Ma was a saint. And as some of you know, in my very first meeting with Bitika Mukherjee, you were mentioning her, she asked me, she said, why are you interested in doing this, writing this book on Ma? And I said, because I've always been very interested in women saints. And at that point, her face turned white and she said, my dear Lisa, Ma was neither a woman nor a saint. So we're going to sing 2 songs. It's sort of a medley to the Divine Mother, to the goddess that was Ma, born into this world in a body that wasn't really made of the elements as ours is. And the first song is Jaya Jagadambe. You'll see it in your chat. Oh, victory to the Mother of the world. He Ma Durga, He Ma Durga. And then we'll move into the second part of the chant, which is Devi Devi, Mahadevi, Ananda Devi, Namo Namah. So follow along, we can sing in unison. This is a unison sort of chant. Can you hear both my harmonium and the voice? Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jaya Jagadambe, Jaya Jagadambe, Hey Ma Durga, Hey Ma Durga, Jaya Jagadambe, Anandamayi Mata Ki Jai. Tanya, would you turn off the original sound? Thank you. Thank you. Jai Ma. So for my reading today, I decided to choose a passage from our new book by Swami Guru Sharan, our beloved brother at Masharanam Ashram in India. The book is called The Goddess Whispers. Can you put it on maybe speaker? I don't know why I'm not seeing myself, but The Goddess Whispers. Can you see me now? Good. Conversations with Sri Anandamayi Ma. And I'm choosing this because there's a section at the beginning of Swamiji's book, which is in her own words, Sri Anandamayi Ma's self-introduction. We heard a little bit of her self-introduction from that beautiful reading from The Goddess Reveals Herself. So as you may know, people were always trying to ask Ma, who was she? And she often had ways of kind of slipping out of talking about who she was and joking about how she was just a little girl and I am as you see me. And there were so many different ways that she expressed her self-identity. But in this section of Swamiji's book, she does reveal a little bit about who she really is. Questioner, Ma, whom do you worship? Mother, if you call it worship, I worship myself. Question, Ma, who is your guru? Mother, first my parents were my gurus. After that, I accepted the person, her husband, my parents entrusted me to as my guru. Beyond that, all of you, even animals, birds, insects, and plants are my gurus. Because there is only one guru. Everything you see is that guru. Then I myself am my guru. There is no question of a guru. Whatever you say is true. Question. Mother, a guru is necessary. Nothing can be accomplished without a guru. Mother, Father, you are right, but all the work of this body has happened on its own. If you speak of a guru, there are 5 gurus: mother, father, husband, all of you, and ultimately God. These 5 are the gurus. Questioner, whom do you believe in, Rama, Krishna, or the goddess? Mother, Rama, Krishna, and the goddess are all one. There is nothing other than the one. Question, Mother, you are not entangled in household affairs like us, so how do you understand worldly troubles? Mother, how do I know? I am you, and you are me. What else is there? There is no question of not understanding. Question, Mother, whenever someone meets me, they always ask, what did you get from going to Mother? Mother, you get nothing, and that is everything. In gaining, you lose. Question, Mother, what are you? Are you a Sanatani or an Arya Samaji? Mother laughing, I am everything, whatever you say. Question, Mother, what is the nature of God according to you? Mother, just as you are near me, exactly like that. A girl once asked Mother, Mother, who are you? Please tell us. And I laughed, saying, what do you think? The girl said, I think you are God. Mother, whatever you say, that is what I am. If you call me an insect, I am that. Whatever bad things you say, I am that. If you call me a friend, I am that. If you call me your daughter, I am that. Whatever you say, I am that. Question, what were you in your past life? Mother, this is my first birth, pratam janma. Understand the meaning of saying first birth. Whatever I say, it is not something attained through practice. What comes out is the truth being spoken. What is. There is no confusion. That's it. And she claps her hands. Continuing. There is no before and there is no after. And then for the one who has the vision of before or after, everything exists. It exists and it doesn't. Here, what is actually that. She says, wahi, wahi, wahi. Question. We understand and learn through the intellect. But Mother, what you say, have you learned it from scriptures or people, or is it from your experience? Mother, whatever is said is not from the teachings of scripture or from experience. The questions you ask bring out corresponding answers from this body, and this is the complete truth. Question. Mother, who is your guru? Mother, this body has no guru. This body itself is its own guru. Question. Mother, please don't dismiss my question like that. Mother, no, this body does not dismiss anyone's words. Will you believe me? You are my guru. Hearing this, everyone in the audience laughs heartily. Why? Isn't it correct? In this whole world, everyone is the guru to this body. The gurus of everyone are my gurus. Question. Mother, do you enter into a state of samadhi? Can you share your experience? Mother, in the past, this body used to experience various kinds of spiritual practices. Sadhana, just like a small child plays, sadhana also played within this body. Since childhood, this body's mind has been different. Every kind of spiritual practice that could happen in this body has occurred. It is both the guru, and the disciple itself. Question. Mother, you always say you are a little child. Do you pretend to be a child to deceive us? Mother, not once but 100 times this body is a little child. Making this body old won't work. If you push an old mother into a corner, you will remain where you are. This body is your little child. I will sit in your lap. A sister says, this little child talks a lot. Mother, it is the nature of this little child to chatter. Question. Mother, have you seen God? Mother, oh yes, I see him all the time. Then see, who will see whom? Everything is him. There is nothing other than God. Jai Ma.
Okay, sorry, I'm having technical problems here with this computer.
I can hear you
Wonderful.
now. I can hear you.
Good, good. Thank you, Pragya, for that wonderful reading.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It brought to my mind, I want to hear what you think of it also, but it brought to my mind at a Samyan Sapta I was at with Ma in 1973. Someone asked, because it was wonderful. The Samyan Sapta went on for a week, and at the time, I speak Hindi now. I didn't speak Hindi then, so it was just all day long, just blah blah blah. Didn't understand a word, but Ma was sitting there all day, and so we just sat and looked at Ma all day. It was great. And someone asked Ma. They said, Ma, because you meditated for an hour in the morning and afternoon in the Samyan Sapta, and someone asked Ma, when we're sitting meditating with our eyes closed, we're meditating on you. Who are you meditating on? And Ma laughed and said, I'm meditating on you. So I decided to see if that was true. So I would start doing the meditation. Ma was sitting right there, and I opened my eyes and I looked, and she had her eyes open, and she was slowly looking down the line at every single person for a long time, watching every single person. So I watched her eyes, and I saw she was coming down our line. So I kept my eyes closed, and I was really trying to meditate. So she would see me meditating right. So I'm meditating, and suddenly my consciousness just went whoosh and opened up to dimensions I'd never experienced before, and I realized Ma's looking at me. I just sat there and just experienced this incredible opening of consciousness, and then it went down to normal, subnormal, and she was looking at the next person. So just Ma's glance opened consciousness. And I always say many times I found that when my eyes rested on Ma, my own awareness would wake up in ways I never knew existed. So in one sense, Ma did meditate on us, which is kind of an amazing thing. So Pragya, what are your thoughts about this reading about Ma's self-revelation?
Well, first of all, I love hearing you talk about that. I can actually feel what that must have been like. What grace, Mangalanandaji. All of us who missed being with Ma, long, long to hear these stories. And yet people are coming to Ma all the time, even today, having amazing experiences of her presence. So
There's no question, yeah.
yeah, we don't need to be jealous, but sometimes we are. When I hear that,
it can't be sure what it was like because it was just so magical, and it was like an addiction. It's true, and to have Ma look at you, we would do all things just to get Ma to look at us, and she would look at us, and it would be amazing.
I bet. I guess first of all, Ma's really driving home the point that we are her guru. There's only one guru, and as we read her saying that, she can convince us. She can help our consciousness grasp that just through her words. But I also love that she talked about this was her first birth. This extraordinary birth that you described by reading that appendix from Mother Reveals Herself. This extraordinary birth was her first birth, and she says that means it wasn't attained through practice. In other words, there was no karma. This manifestation of the divine was just absolutely fresh, free, and all-knowing from the very first moment. And that's just so amazing. I really recommend that everyone, if they haven't already, read this book, Ma Reveals Herself, because it's we have a member of our satsang here, Jim, who's not here today, but he built this beautiful temple, Jim Watkins. And how he met Ma was that he was at Ramana Maharshi's ashram in Tiruvannamalai, and he went into the library, and the only book on Ma there was Ma Reveals Herself, which is in some ways, I think you'll agree, one of the most esoteric books on Ma. It's her own words that Baiji took down about her life and her birth and her childhood and so forth. So that was his first book. And he had this huge awakening. He left Tiru, went to Kankal, and has been back, I don't know, 10 or 11 times. So I really recommend that we all have another read of Mother Reveals Herself around this birthday time. It's so powerful.
Yeah, it's a wonderful document, and it was read back to Ma. Baiji wrote it down, and he was reading it to Ma at regular intervals. Ma sometimes will listen, sometimes he said, "No, not now." Excuse me. And so he read it back and checked it with Ma, and some things she corrected. Says, "No, it was like this." And then after Baiji left his body on their trip back from Kailash, he gave it to Didi, and Didi was also reading it to Ma. So the whole book has been checked with Ma as far as the authenticity of the words. So it's a very authentic document. It's
yeah, thank you so much.
And
Well,
she mentioned also that all these sadhanas play through her body. That was another totally unique thing about Ma, that during that 6-year period, we called her sadhana Leela, where it was God's will that she's just supposed to sit there and watch all these things happen within her own body, because she was in perfect consciousness from birth. But all the possible sadhanas known to man in every path played through her body. And so she became like the patroness of anyone who does any sadhana practice. And that was why she could easily correct and talk to anyone about their practice, no matter how subtle, because it played in her body. It was just amazing. Yeah, some people write me all the time and ask me things about this, and a man from India, in fact, he came to our satsang a few months ago. A man from India wrote me and he said, "I've been having problems with my faith in Ma because before I came to Ma, I followed Paramahansa Yogananda and Swami Kriyananda, one of his disciples, and he said, suppose he said this, that Ma had still had karma to work out, and Ma wasn't fully realized, and all this stuff, So I wrote him back and I said, first of all, I have a great reverence for Paramahansa Yogananda. He was a great master, who comes many times into this world to save people. He was an unquestioned illumined master. But even Ma could even hide from him. So number one, we're not sure he said that. Swami Kriyananda supposedly remembered Yogananda saying this. I've met Swami Kriyananda several times, and I have a great regard for him. He's a very advanced yogi, but he definitely still had some filters to look through. So I would recommend it. I said, read what Ma said about herself, read what Ma's devotees say about her. Like I've said, Yogananda said she was a great woman saint. And I quoted Bhitika Mukherjee. We don't call her either a woman or a saint.
Mm-hmm.
So I said I recommended read the article by Gopinath Kaviraj, who was India's most revered pundit, and who was an avid devotee of Ma for decades and decades. Left his body in Ma's ashram back in the 70s, and he wrote a whole article about who is Ma, and he says, and he compares all these things. Is she an avatar? Is she a siddha? Is she this and that? And he shows all these things, and he says Ma is beyond all these things. And Ma herself said she had never taken birth before, so this wasn't her, she didn't have more things to work out from previous karma. So I said, make sure your sources are people who really lived with Ma and knew Ma and to whom Ma revealed herself. That's an important thing. So we have these wonderful documents where we have these answers to these questions. Any other observations there?
No, I'm just so happy to be here.
Yeah. Should we go ahead and play the video now that you have?
Sure. So we're going to enjoy a video of Ma leading a kirtan on her own birthday in 1981. So that means that she was 85 at the time. And let me get this. Okay, and it's just going to take me a second here. I have to do the sharing of the screen. Oh, sorry, hold on. Lovely, but not what we were going to play. Okay. Can you hear that? Can you hear Mangalanandaji?
No, there's no sound. I don't hear the sound.
No sound.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We can let's try it.
Okay. I know, but still.
Don't hit that. Don't hit that. Goes to the next video. That's what you hit last time. That takes you to the next video. Hit play again. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not hearing the sound?
No.
Okay. Let me try one more time to make sure that it says I'm screen sharing.
Yeah, we see it fine. Sometimes these things work, sometimes they don't.
I know. It's funny because this was a video we tried to show on Ma's birthday here, and it cut off. We were unable to see it. Are you planning to show any of Gabrielle's videos?
No, I wasn't planning on it today. I'm planning on the future.
Oh, because I was thinking maybe we should do it from your side. Because for some reason it's not
No,
working.
I tremble with fear at trying to do anything on this computer. It's my first Apple computer, and I have no idea how to navigate it. I just
No trembling with fear. Okay. Well, we can hear it here. We can see it here. And I'm sharing my screen with you. So
The link, if you put the link in chat, maybe the host like Saraswati can try sharing.
oh, okay.
I think we should move on. I think we're just
Okay,
bogging
just
down here
one.
too
We'll
much.
try one thing, which is Saraswati. I'm going to put it in the chat, and let's just see if, yeah, if you could host it.
I could be telling my own experience. When Ma would come out, especially for the morning darshan, she would always insist that satsang would be done, and we'd always hope that two or three of the ladies who knew how to do it to get Ma to sing, because Ma didn't have any desire to do anything. She would just sit quietly and drawn, and there were certain ladies who could bring her out, and so they would start the kirtan, and they would be singing the kirtan, and Ma would be sitting there, and then they would get real soft, and they just look at Ma and get softer, and they just play and look at Ma, and Ma would sometimes start very quietly, then she would start singing more and more. They knew how to draw her out. And then Ma would start singing, then it would get really wonderful, wonderfully vibrant, and she would just put herself into it.
Okay, Saraswati, let's see what happens.
It's not working on my end either.
Okay,
No.
Mom, you don't want us to watch this one. That's okay.
Okay.
We surrender.
Okay. Anyway, we tried. Yeah, usually at these satsangs we show a slideshow of Ma, because Ma manifests through her photos now, as we know. So many. So why don't we wow, we're a little bit late. Let's open up the floor to sharing. So anyone who has any questions or anything they'd like to share, let's keep it on the subject of Anandamayi Ma, her teaching, and her life and her teaching. So, because we don't want to go off the track here. So if anyone would like to share anything, how they came to Ma, any questions about the day's readings or anything at all, please just speak up, unmute and speak up. Surely someone has something. Don't be shy.
I really appreciate your explanation about Ma revealing herself to people, because I have always wondered why advanced yogis and yoginis don't see her as she is, the truth of her. And I realize now that she hasn't revealed herself. So I very much appreciate you explaining that.
Yeah, she could hide herself. Now, people who were really spiritually advanced saw her. Like, let's take some examples. Swami Chidananda was the successor of Swami Shivananda of Rishikesh, of Shivananda Ashram, who was a world-renowned divine master. He world respect as a spiritual leader. Swami Chidananda was his illumined disciple, and Swami Shivananda himself said that Swami Chidananda was a realized being. So he literally worshipped Ma. He would say, people would ask him, "Have you seen God?" And he said, "Yes, and you can too. Just take a train to Haridwar, and she's right now." When he would come to Ma on a railway station, he would just lay flat out on the ground in front of her. So the saints understood Ma and knew Ma. And I think we discussed in a previous satsang, at first the monastics, the sannyasis and sannyasinis in the monastic orders did not recognize Ma because she had no lineage in guru. And the whole thing in India is, who is your guru, who is your lineage? You don't just make things up. And she was just known as this little Bengali lady, this little widow. But then they had, in the early days, and I think it was the 1930s, this Prabhupada Brahmachari had a great meeting of all the sannyasis, and he brought Ma as a special guest, and by the end of the thing, they were all mad about her. So during the days I was traveling with Ma, she was so respected by all the sadhus and sannyasis. And even during the years I was living with Ma, I traveled, living in India. This is 2001 to 2013. I traveled extensively And whenever I meet sadhus, the old sadhus, they would say, what ashram are you from? I say, Ma Anandamayi ashram. They go, oh, we met Ma. We have such regard for her, you know. So she was universally, and still is universally respected. So Ma revealed herself to who she would. Like our Baba Kedarnath, or Swami Kedarnath, he was with a Vedanta guru, and he had been through a lot of years of sadhana. And he just, someone sent him some invitation to Janmotsav, to Ma's birthday in Hardwar in the year, I think it was 1975. So just kind of on a whim, he just went to see who this was. He had never heard of Ma before. He had no idea who she was. And he told me that he came up to the, those of you who have been in Kamkal, there's that Shankaracharya hall, a large hall across the street from the main ashram. And he said he stood in that doorway. There were all these people there, and Ma was sitting way off on the other side of the room on this asan. He said he stood in the doorway, and when his eyes rested on Ma, she revealed herself totally to who she was. He said he suddenly realized, I'm looking at God. I'm seeing God. And he said he stood there with his eye with streaming tears. He was just weeping and weeping, kind of not even believing it. Oh my God, God is here, and she's in front of me. He was seeing her because she revealed herself. And then she motioned to him like this. And there's this large hall, and she can't be talking to me. Finally, she sent someone over to him and said, Ma's calling you. Because here with this large hall, he just showed up at the door. So he called him. So he went in front of Ma and he pranammed to her. And she said, Tu Mayeho, so you've come. so Ma revealed herself to who she would, so it was her will.
So
she
beautiful.
She could hide from those she wanted to hide from too.
So beautiful, beautiful. Mangalananda ji. And go ahead, Jennifer. You're not done. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say it was very similar. I have no idea how I learned about Ma. I have absolutely no idea. And so it was just, I knew that she was the one. And so when a teacher of my Vedanta classes told me that you would be at the Bahamas ashram, that was the reason why I went to the ashram at that time. In fact, she said to me, because I was asking her, I said, why, what do people say about Ma? Is she an avatar or is she a saint? And she told me that you'd be there. And she said, you should ask him.
And you did.
And I did. And, and everything that you spoke of about her, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So, and everything
that's the real revelation to me. I found over the years, if someone speaks the real truth, like if I'm going to some satsang and someone's speaking these very esoteric things, but they're very true, it's like I already knew it, but he's reminding me of it. It's like we know the truth deep inside. So when someone says something really true, it's like it's not like a new thing. It's like, oh yeah, I know that, but I just forgotten it. And that type of thing. So it's true. This is an interesting thing about Ma. I've asked many devotees who had their first darshan of Ma. I always say, what was your first darshan like? And what was your impression of Ma? And almost universally, there'll be different aspects of this, but there's this deep familiarity. And in my first darshan of Ma, it was the same thing. I was looking at Ma. I'd read about her for about a year before I came to India finally. And I was thinking, what will it be like to see Ma? And two things happened. First, I looked at her and I realized there is no experience on earth that can cause what I'm feeling right now to happen. This is something totally unique. And at the same time, there was this deep familiarity. Everybody had the same feeling. They're like, oh yeah, we felt like we'd always known Ma. When I looked at her, I felt there's never been a time I didn't know her. There'll never be a time I'll forget her. The soul would recognize its own mother, the Divine Mother. So that was an amazing thing. So really, it's not like, oh, this happened. That's a good sign, Jennifer, that you don't really know how it happened. It just organically, spontaneously happened. That's Ma's way. She just reveals herself in a way that's so natural and so integrated into our life. It's really wonderful.
I think I have great gratitude to her. that I've met you because well, at least I do. I feel Ma come through you. I feel that, having been in her presence, I can really feel Ma come through you. And
Oh,
I am ever grateful for
thank
that.
you. And I prayed to Ma. I said, I'm nothing. I'm your instrument. And just if you ever want, I volunteer for the job. So I'm glad when she takes me up on it occasionally. We talked about how Ma reveals herself through her photos, and I think I've shared this before, but this was the most graphic photo sharing thing that happened to us. Swami Gurushola and I were sent by the ashram every year to tour and give classes and do kirtan and get money to raise money for the school to keep the school open for the next year. So we kept the school open for years by doing that. In the summer when school was out, we'd be sent to Europe and America to tour. And we were in England one time, and we were in one of these beautiful little English villages on the sea coast. And our host there, we were staying with Purna and Nick. They're Ma devotees, and they have a nice little house there. And they had arranged for a kirtan we were going to do in one of these little theaters in the village. And they put a sign up and everything. And since we were staying with them, we took this big picture of Ma's face. It was like 6 feet high from their meditation room, and put it behind us on the stage where we set up to sing, to do the kirtan. So afterwards, this Buddhist lady came up to us, and she was literally weeping. And she said, "Who is this lady? This picture of this lady behind you? Who is it?" So we said, "Why?" And we were just curious. And she said, I live in this village. I had no idea you were coming. I just happened to be walking by, and it said Indian music, blah, blah, blah. I thought, oh, that'd be interesting. So she came in the theater. She said, the minute I sat down and looked at that picture, it came to life and started speaking in my heart and started communicating all these things to me and shining light at me. I mean, all these amazing things started happening. So who is she? So we explained that she is Anandamayi Ma. And to me, the thing that authenticates this experience was she kept in touch with Purna and Nick. She started coming to their satsang. And then a few months afterwards, she went to India. At that time, our Swami Bhaskaranaji was still alive, who was giving Diksha into Ma's lineage. And she took Diksha, and she came back, and she's, to this day, as far as I know, is still active in the satsang in Britain. So Ma, reaches out in any way. She's reached all of us, and she reaches out in any way she can. I mean, I was just this weird little hippie kid in Texas, and she reached out and called me, and she's called all of you, and she always says, I come to people at the right time. When the time is right, I come to them. So we don't have to worry about was I early or late. All we have to care about is, did we come and we were called? So if we came and we were called, that was the right time.
There are 3 people that are coming to call on you, Mangalanandaji. First, the Herrings, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say about, I feel Anandamayi Ma sometimes when I first wake up. So was she there, almost like she was looking at me while I was sleeping? Then I wake up and I feel that she's there. So that's what I have to say. And I guess, yeah, when did I learned about Anandamayi Ma through the Yogananda autobiography of a yogi, as many other people said. But then, yeah, she pulled us in, and so that's what I just have to share. That is really beautiful to be an older person, and feel like someone's been kind of looking at you. And
yeah, and I believe that she was watching you as you slept. She's there. She said there's a beautiful thing she said to do. I've been doing it ever since I read it last year or sometime. She says when you wake up, before you put your feet on the floor, pranam to Mother Earth. Say, "Oh Mother Earth, thank you. My body is made of your elements. Thank you for letting me walk on you. May I be in tune with you." And then it says, then pranam to the Heavenly Mother. So then we pranam to Anandamayi Ma. So we always say, Mother Earth, thank you. Ma, may you always pull us forward. May we remember you. So yeah, that's very sweet, Linda. Thank you.
I mean, she's there, right there before I would even have time to do it. Now you're telling me what to do, but I mean, that she's there, like she was just watching me to wake up.
No, I totally believe that. I totally believe that. It's really true. It really is true. She is there in intimate ways we can't even imagine. She's infinite consciousness. And when we pay attention to her, she pays attention to us, and vice versa.
Thank you for that wonderful
Linda. Yeah,
practice,
thank you, Linda.
Mangalananda ji. I love that in the morning to remember Ma before your toes even touch the ground. Beautiful.
Yeah. First Mother Earth,
And
then
then
Heavenly Mother. Earthly Mother, then Heavenly Mother.
love that. Deep Das, we'd love to hear from you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I will share a little bit of an experience. I was about 9 or 10 years of age. My parents took me to possibly Haridwar or Dehradun. I can't remember that. But my father was posted in Jammu, and he was also had taken Diksha from Anandamayi and then my mother as well. So I went there, and before that, we reached Haridwar or Dehradun. I can't remember as I was too young. My father bought me a small little photo of Sri Krishna. And he said, when you meet Ma, give it to her. I said, okay, as a dutiful son, little boy, I was supposed to follow the instructions. So as usual, when we reached this place, there was crowded, and people wouldn't want you to go and touch her feet because sometimes it would create problems for her. I guess that's what. Anyway, so I was a little boy and I got this photograph and I just went and gave it to her and then touched her feet. Immediately, you would not believe, many of you will, I'm sure this is how it happens. She got into some kind of a trance. Immediately, her eyes were like closed. And then after a few seconds or a minute, I cannot remember, she used to wear a white color or orange color towel around her neck. So she took that off and gave it to me. And for a few seconds, even now I get goosebumps. That was like heavenly bliss. And my father was extremely overjoyed. My mother was extremely overjoyed. And this was so many, many years back, maybe in 75 or so. And even today, I'm in Canada now. It is still with me in my house in Calgary, Canada. And while I say this, I get tears. It is so moving, and that protects us till date. I have no words to say about Ma. So she's so unique. She's always there. Thank you.
Oh, Vava. Thank you for sharing that, dear brother. So you still have the towel that she gave you?
Yes, it is still there
Beautiful.
in Calgary. Anybody who is visiting Calgary, if I can connect with him or her, I'm happy to show that, and the person can touch and touch her forehead with that. And for many, many years, there was a beautiful fragrance that came out of the towel. Now it is not there. It has kind of dimmed. But the value for me is always, it will be there till the last day of my life.
Yes, very definitely. These things that Ma touched, like we have things like you have her paduka here that she wore on her feet.
Okay.
There, you like this thing. Yeah, it's really true. We were staying with our friend Sanat Dave in up in North England for a short time, and he had a towel that Ma had touched. He said he said, I have some things that Ma touched I haven't taken out of the bag since Ma gave them to me. If you want to touch them, So I was able to go and lift the towel out, and I put my face in it, and I just started weeping and weeping because it was like Ma was suddenly just all around me. It's true. These things things she touched physically are really amazing. I wear a mala that she touched, a Budraksha mala. It's true. Thank you for joining us, dear brother. How beautiful, and what a wonderful blessing of your childhood. We're so grateful you shared that. How beautiful. How
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come.
Please always come every third Sunday. We'd love to have you every time.
Sure, I will do that from now on.
Did you have a darshan Maya for that, or would you have a
Yeah, I have met her about 4 to 5 times.
Wonderful.
A few times in Calcutta, but I did not realize she was Adya Shakti at that time. Yes, but whenever I saw her, those memories are there. Those few snatches of moments are there. And then she unfortunately passed away in 83. Later I went to Kankhal Kankhal ashram twice, and I met the French the French gentleman
Swami
who was
Vijayananda, yeah.
Samananda. I saw him meditating there. This was in the year 96 or so, I think, around that time. I've been to Kankal a few times, but the last one in 96 was, you can feel the vibration. There is no doubt about that. The samadhi there, you can feel that anybody who has not seen Ma just needs to visit that samadhi, and that is enough, because that has so much of vibration. And if you just pray to Ma and you can connect, that feeling is, I cannot describe that. So I'm sure many of you would have done that. So I have been there, but when she was alive, mortally on the earth, then I would have seen her 4 or 5 times, once or twice in the, I think, Agarpura ashram, and once or twice she had visited a few devotees in Calcutta. So my mother came to know, and so we visited her, and she visited with another very famous saint who had a lock of hair, and I forget.
Sitaram Omkarnath.
Omkarnath, yes. So
Yeah.
Pandit Omkarnath was there, and she was there. So I have seen both of them physically, and it is a great, great, great feeling. No words can ever express that. So that was it. But I wish I could have seen her more. I wish I had realized that, but it never happened.
I'm so glad you joined us today. This is wonderful. It is true. Like, you were very young at the time. You can't soak it in. I was 18, 19, 20 years old at the time, and I was with her, and I did the best I could. But now it'd be so different. But the thing is, you saw her. That's what counts. I was at the Bhimpura ashram once in Gujarat for the Samyan Sapta, and we met a French lady there who was there, and she said, I met Ma when I was 18, back in the 70s. I was just this wandering French hippie. I was probably stoned on some kind of drug, and they took me there, and I saw her, and I thought, okay, that's a nice lady. Didn't mean anything to me, and I left. And it was only like 45 years later, I realized, oh my God, I saw Anandamayi Ma. And then it all kicked in. And now she had like total faith in Ma. She had deep experiences with Ma, because it just kicked in at the right time. So you had darshan. Didn't matter that you were young. You gave her a picture of Krishna. How beautiful. How wonderful. Kitna sundar bhai. Dhanyavad. Aane ke liye dhanyavad.
Thank you.
That's very, very nice.
So beautiful, so wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to follow that?
I know.
Impossible. I have a question or two about the date of birth of Anandamayi Ma. So it's often, like you said, it's often given as around April 30, but then we heard, was it Baiji who said the morning of May 1st? So I'm wondering why can't we pin that down? Is it May 1st? Is it April 30?
Well, it's India, and people don't keep great track of things that much. We celebrate it by the lunar calendar, so there's like a whole month variance possibly. So that by the lunar calendar, when it's celebrated, the astrological signs are in the same place as on the actual day. That's why it's done. So I have heard April 30th, and it's celebrated sometimes April 30th, sometimes May 1st, and we do know it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, when I lived at the Omkareshwar ashram, we would celebrate it usually for a whole week. The city of Indore has one of Ma's ashrams also. We go to the Indore ashram and celebrate it for a whole week. And on the actual lunar calendar date, we would start at 3 o'clock in the morning and bring out the photo of Ma and have the whole puja, which went on for hours and things, and then a Kumari puja, and then we'd offer flowers. Really beautiful time. And we'd sing throughout the week, and it was just amazing. And so there, I heard it from the Indore ashram that the calendar date was April 30th. But I guess one thing I might account for that is, by the Western calendar, we say the day begins at midnight. The next day begins at midnight. By the Indian calendar, it begins by dawn. The day begins at dawn. So the discrepancy could be there. That we say April 30th, May 1st. I don't know. But the important thing is she was born. As our Swami Dayananda, who runs an ashram in Hawaii, always says, people say this is the Kali Yuga, the dark age, but I say it's the perfect age because it's the age where Ma lived. So, so we lived in the same time that Ma lived. That's the important thing.
Thanks. Yeah. So yeah, I was wondering if like I said, so in the West here we start the day at midnight on the calendar. I don't know if this is accurate, but I believe I heard that some Asian cultures the day starts like when at dawn and you can see the first when you can see the lines on your hand for the first time. It's like there's enough daylight that you can actually see on your palm the lines on your hand. It's like okay,
That's interesting.
beginning of the next day. So going with that, on May 1st, before sunrise at 3:45 a.m. or whatever it was, which counting that way, that would still be April 30. But yet, according to, I don't know, it's all speculation. But what about how do you, the lunar calendar? So like, for example, on a Tibetan lunar calendar, they would say she's born on the 18th day of the third Tibetan month. How do you count it on what, a Bengali calendar or Indian
Yeah,
calendar?
we have it. I'm not conversant in it, but we have it by the Bengali calendar. In fact, it even says it here. Somewhere we've seen it on. They have different names of the months, and the Indian calendar corresponds only roughly to the Western calendar. So yeah, I think we have it by the Bengali calendar, by the day of the week and the month by the Bengali calendar. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Mangalanandaji, Tanya here is Bengali. She will speak to that.
Oh, please address that.
Gemma, I'm Tanya. All I can say is the Bengali New Year this past month on April 14th, 15th was the year 1432. So if we do the math with the English calendar, we can determine which year she was born after we take away her total number of years of age from 1432. And then we'll have the Bengali year that she was born.
Yeah, we have that written. Yeah, and by the English, British, the Western calendar, she was born in 1896. We know that for sure, and passed away in 1982. Yeah, August of 1982.
Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, Tanya. Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything?
I was just remembering that someone asked Greg where he got that beautiful photo behind him. Greg, did you put it in the chat, or would you like to explain to us where that came from?
Etsy.
Etsy.
Okay.
Also,
these days we can take any photo and have it enlarged, because we have possibilities now.
Etsy has a lot of photos of Ma, and they're all different sizes, and you can get them framed or unframed. So that is a spectacular one, and I love that it's right behind Greg when he comes online.
Do people know the story of that photo?
No, tell us.
That photo where you see this light, this ball of light on Ma's forehead. It's written in Baiji's book. He was there at the time. I forget what year. I guess it was the early 30s. They had at that time they took photographs, with the big plates. They would expose a plate, and then they would develop that into the photograph. And so this devotee came who wanted to have some photos of Ma. At that time there were very few photos of Ma. So he brought a professional photographer with all these plates and one of these real awkward cameras. And they said, Ma, please come out and we want to take photos. At that time she was lying in samadhi in her room. It's in this yogic trance. So she came out and she was still kind of like half with it. She was still just kind of in this trance. And so they kind of propped her up, and the man exposed like 6, 8, 10, I think a dozen different plates, taking photos, boom, 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 boom. He said, okay, I've got all the plates I need. Surely many of these will come out. So we went back and developed them, and all of them, there was just this light. And then finally in the last few, there was a form within the light, and there was a little bit more form in the light. And then finally there was that one picture of Ma like this, but there was a ball of light on her forehead. So he brought that to her. He brought that photo and he showed it, And Ma explained, she said, oh, okay. She just laughed and she said, oh, that's no problem. While I was lying in that room, I was immersed in samadhi and I was experiencing there was just nothing but limitless light. So when you came out, I was still in that state. And then finally the light kind of slowly came in just in my forehead. So the camera captured it. So it's actually kind of a miraculous picture of Ma, that we had this ball of light on her forehead, because that was her divine light emanating from her, which slowly got absorbed back into her. So it's amazing.
Acharya-ji, isn't it also true that an image of Baiji appeared behind her?
You're right. Baiji was standing off to the side, but Ma said at that time the KL was that Baiji was behind me. So it showed up, Baiji's photo showed up, Fami's image showed up behind her in the photo. Because she thought it, his image showed up there, although he testified that he was standing off to the side. So it's a really amazing photo.
Mangalananda ji, Sarah has her hand up.
Yes, please.
I just have a super brief comment. I'm slowly making my way through not all the books, some of the books written about Ma. And I'm so grateful for her inclusiveness of saying, are you a Jnana yogi? Are you a bhakti yogi? Are you all the different kinds of yoga are good, or whoever you follow. In other words, like nothing is excluded. And it's so different from a lot of the people I've studied kind of from the Western perspective. There's this, it's got to be this or it's got to be that. And she never, ever, ever says that. It's this, to me, it's such a feminine sort of wrapping her arms around everybody and everything. And she's always saying it's all God, it's all God. And I just want to express appreciation for that, because it stands out to me as very unique. So thank you.
That's a very good point, Sarah. And it's something that's really a wonderful part of Ma's Lila, her total universality. She brought unity. She didn't recognize disunity. She'd always say, for this body, there's only the one Atma everywhere. She brought it out. She said everything comes from unity and goes out into unity and comes back into unity, all the different forms of God. Like she said in something we read today, Ram, Krishna, Shiva, they're all one. They're all the one unity in different expressions. And so we need that so much today. Like in Sri Ramakrishna's time, he practiced all the different religions of the world and brought their unity for the first time in India. And Ma took it even steps further, that she was so universal, everything just came from unity and went to unity. Darn, I was going to talk more about that. That made me think of something. Now I can't remember. It slipped my mind. But yeah, that's a very important point. Here's what I want to say. During my time in India, I made a point to meet the saints wherever I went. I sought out the Mahatmas. I had the privilege of seeing very many people I thought were really realized beings. And what I found was they would know the way that they got there, and they would be teaching that way. And some of them would be fanatical about it, some of them would be open about it, but they only knew that way. But Ma was really at the top of the mountain, so she could see the full spectrum of everything. So every way is Ma's way. So like I met this wonderful saint named Kishori Mataji, who I have just infinite regard and love for. She was such a wonderful saint. She met Ma, loved Ma. But she was a Vaishnava saint who came through the Ram lineage. And so she'd always say, you have to say this mantra, this is the way you do it, blah, blah, blah. You can't be any other way. Because that's all she knew. I mean, she reached the goal, but she still had only seen that one path by which she came. So a lot of times you find that a teacher will have a very good way, which they open, but it's that one way. But Ma was universality itself. She just brought unity, and wherever she went, she brought unity. She brought the saints together. She brought conflicting theological views, like in the 6 darshanas of India, the different philosophical. Some of them were contradictory. But she somehow was able to reconcile them all, and she just brought unity wherever she went. And so that's such an important part of her Leela, and such an important thing in her manifestation today, where everything is so kind of chaotic. She brings unity wherever she goes. It's really true. So thanks for bringing that up, Sarah. It's true. It's a wonderful point. Yeah. Well, I think we're kind of running late. Why don't we do the arati for Ma's birthday? So I'm going to sing the arati hymn that we sing to Ma, and Glenn and Pragya's going to do the arati. Arati, of course, is the offering of lights to the beloved. That's what we're going to do. So Pragya, why don't you tag your you tag your photo so it stays on for other people?
I don't know how to do that. How do I tag my photo?
I think you find.
Okay, Tanya's going to do it. Hold on.
Good, Tanya, very good. I just need to go to that.
Okay. Can we still see Mom? Yeah.
Well, Mom, I'm making sure it stays there. Good, okay. It's not coming back to me. This is the arati hymn we sing in Ma's ashrams. Jayambe Gauri Maiya Jaya Mangala Murati Maiya Jayambe Gauri Maiya Purna Brahma Narayani Pranavakshara Rupa Nirmala Sundari Shodashi Lalita Nirmala Sundari Shodashi Lalita Rupa Achintya Anupa Jayambe Gauri Maiya Jaya Mangala Murati Maiya Jayambe Gauri Chiddavadana Chiddavasanamayi Chiddabhushanadhari Nij Mahima mein Sada Viraje Nij Mahima mein Sada Viraje Bhase Bhase Majari Jayambe Gauri Maiya Jaya Mangala Murati Maiya Jayambe Gauri Maiya Malanashini Bhavatarani Sadguru Maharani Iti Arune Titaha Nahi Pave Iti Arune Titaha Nahi Pave Dono Sat Sirani Jayambe Gauri Maiya Jaya Mangala Murati Maiya Jayambe Gauri Maiya Asharana Sharana Pradayani Vishaya Sakti Hara Asharana Sharana Pradayani Vishaya Sakti Hara Sahaja Swarupa Samadhini Magna Sahaja Swarupa Samadhini Magna Vidya Brahma Para Jayambe Gauri Maiya Jaya Mangala Murati Maiya Jayambe Gauri Maiya Sadhaka Siddha Samashrita Sakala Deva Janani Vishwamahi hai Vishwatita Vishwamahi hai Vishwatita यथार्थ सिखावनी हे जग कल्याणी प्रेम ज्ञान मर्यादा मूर्ति प्रेम ज्ञान मर्यादा मूर्ति सुमिरत अगहारी जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय मंगल मूर्ति मैया जय अम्बे गौरी मैया क्रीड़ा कौतुक में सब भारी लीला अति न्यारी आनंदमयी माँ आनंद करनी आनंदमयी माँ आनंद करनी मुहुर मुहुर बलिहारी जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय मंगल मूर्ति मैया जय अम्बे गौरी मैया दो कर जोर करे तव विनती मातु कृपा कीजय दो कर जोर करे तव विनती मातु कृपा कीजय करुणामयी करुणाकर अम्बा करुणामयी करुणाकर अम्बा आपन कर लीजय जय अम्बे गौरी मैया जय मंगल मूर्ति मैया जय अम्बे गौरी मैया ॐ भवता पापनाशिन्यै आनंद घनमूर्तये ज्ञान भक्ति प्रदायिने मातस्तुभ्यं नमो नमः श्री श्री आनंदमयी माता की जय जय माँ Thank you.
And
Oh, take the light.
Ah, okay.
Jai Ma. Very good. So happy birthday, Ma, and happy Janmotsa to everyone. And thank you all for coming and joining us. We're here every third Sunday of the month. And look at our website, AnandamayiMaAshram.org, and you can see Pragya is also offering satsangs on Tuesdays. Pragya, you want to say something about that?
Yes, Tuesday night we have satsang from 7 to 8:30, both in person here at the temple and online. And then the first Sunday of the month, we have Ma Satsang on Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. And we come here and gather and have prasad afterwards, which is really wonderful. So you're
And
always
please, everyone, put on your calendar. We're having in-person Samyan Sapta, or mini Samyan Sapta we call it. It's a long weekend, October 17th through 20th. To 20th. So in other words, you come on 16th on Thursday, and we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 17th of October. We're still working. Yes?
Mangalanandaji, we're having, there's 2 retreats. There'll be a retreat with Swami Guru Sharan.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
A yoga retreat from October 10th to October 16th, where there will be 5 days of the study of this beautiful contemplative yoga that Swamiji received from and then from the 17th to the 21st, we'll have the Sanyam Sapta, where the 2 Guru brothers come together, Mangalananda and Swami Guru Sharan, and we really have an amazing time together. So if you're not on our mailing list, please put yourself in the chat so that you'll get, and there's, Saraswati, can you put the ashram link in there? Would you? It's maybe already there. So the ashram website has all of this. It has the weekly things, and the first Sunday, the third Sunday, and then it will have registration for the retreats in October.
Yeah, we had our first in-person meeting since COVID last September up in upstate New York, and it was really wonderful time. I know some of you were there, so if you could put it on your calendar, which is going to be very wonderful. We hopefully this time we're going to be in Pennsylvania at the Arsha Vidya Kulam. We're still waiting for a final confirmation from them, but it'll be somewhere on the East Coast. So please mark those dates, and if you can join us in person, it'd be great. It's going to be a wonderful time. Our Swami Gurushodananda, as probably said, will be coming from India, and it'll be a wonderful time together.
Sharon, may I ask a question about you at the Shivananda Yoga Farm? Is that just for TTC graduates or?
No, in fact, we're going to be there next weekend. It may be streaming. Why don't you check their website and maybe write to them and ask them to stream it live? I'm teaching a class on Gayatri Mantra, which I was initiated into 25 years ago by Ma's main Swami.
What day?
It's next Sunday, the 25th. I think my class is at 2 o'clock, a specific time. But check out on the website if it's going to be live streamed, and also just write them and ask them to do it. A lot of times they live stream things.
I might be able to come down.
Yeah, many people want to attend that workshop. Is there a way you can send out an extra newsletter with a link?
Yeah, well, I'll find out first if they're going to live stream it, because they were recently live streaming a lot of stuff.
Some of us don't know who they is. So
Sorry, Shivananda Yoga Farm. We talked about Swami Shivananda, this great master. He has several organizations worldwide. And Shivananda Yoga Farm has a location in
Grass Valley.
Grass Valley, California, and then in the Bahamas. I go to all of them. One in upstate New York, and one in Canada. So they're a very good organization. They teach this kind of grassroots yoga, meditation, and philosophy and things.
Okay, and
I work a lot with them.
The date of the workshop is
next Sunday, which is, where are we?
25th of May.
The 25th of May.
25th of May.
At 2 o'clock Pacific time. That would be what? 5 o'clock? 6 o'clock? Yeah. No, they're 5 o'clock Eastern. And I'll check with them to see if they're going to live stream it. You just look at Shivananda Ashram Yoga Farm in California on their website.
Thank you.
So I found the website. I have the website up there for Grass Valley, and then also for the Memorial Day weekend, for the whole weekend. And they do mention you, Mangalanandaji, in it. So that's also a
Very
link.
good. I'll see if they're live streaming. If people can just tune into their website and live stream. Very good. Well, thank you again all for coming, and we're one community in Ma, one family in Ma, and come back often. Remember Ma, and remember each other, and help each other the best we can. If you want to unmute and say goodbye, we always love to see everybody. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Hey, Ma. Thank you.
Jai Ma, thank you.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, everyone. Take care.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, thank you.
Jai Ma. Look at Tikuji.
Namaste.
I know. I'm so glad I made a mistake and showed up.